Alright everybody, welcome back to AI Newbie Hub, where we learn, build, and create with AI. Today I've got a special video. It is going to be a real life practical use of a chat and a project that I had with the use of ChatGPT. And you're going to see how it was able to assist me in doing what I needed to do, and we'll get into what that was in just a minute. But right now, let's go ahead and get started.
Hey there, welcome to the hub, where we learn and build with AI love. No code, no fear, we got your back. Just hit play, we're on the newbie track. Learn, build, create, let's dive in. It's AI fun, where do we begin?
Alright guys, welcome back. We're going to start with, I was doing a project with ChatGPT on my PC yesterday. Actually, the day before yesterday. And a little background about myself. I am 54. I grew up for computers, of course, and as they were coming out. Okay, I started back in about 82, 83 with a Commodore 64. I had a black and white monitor at the time to start with before I got my, not monitor, a little 13-inch TV. Until I had enough money to buy myself a 13-inch color TV. It was a Commodore 64. I literally had a keyboard. I had a 5.25-inch disc drive. I had a cassette player, a cassette recorder, and that was pretty much the system. I mean, it was very basic. If any of you know what Commodore 64 is, you know what I'm talking about. You had to write code to make games. It was very basic, very primitive. As I aged, I went in the military. I was a technician, and I worked on satellite microwave systems. And then I got out of the military, and PCs were becoming a household things, although they were quite expensive. But I had a PC. I've had a PC most of my life. But the thing is, when I first got my PC, you had Windows and MS-DOS. Now, for those of you who don't know, it used to be two separate things. You had MS-DOS, and it went up to, I think, 6.2 was the last MS-DOS I used. And then you had Windows whatever version, 3.1, it went to 95. I think that was Chicago also, XP, and so on. At some point, Windows absorbed MS-DOS, and Windows became the operating system. And if you wanted to access DOS, you had to use what they called pseudo-DOS. It wasn't DOS. They took all the control that you had in your computer away from you. And they said, okay, we'll let you do certain things with your computer if we see that it's legit. And if not, we'll give you this little thing that'll do nothing for you, but it'll make you think you're doing something. Essentially, that's what it ended up being. Windows allows you to do what Windows wants you to do. Nothing more, nothing less. If it don't want you to do it, I guarantee you Windows will not let you do it unless you jailbreak it or somehow hack the system. And, I work in most of my life. I didn't have time for all that. So, I took on a big project. And as you can see here, we are in the chat session that I used for, I'm going to say, a good 4 hours. I was in this chat session. And what I want to do was see about taking control over my computer. If you like Windows, that's fine. I'm not a fan of bloatware, but I accepted it like everybody else. Okay, but I would literally, Windows was taking up 250 gigabytes of space on my PC. And okay, that's normal, but there's a lot of things on there I don't use. I don't want. You can't get rid of it. they won't let you get rid of Edge. If you reboot your computer, it comes right back. You've got all their crap AI, which I don't use Microsoft's AI. You've got, I think, Cortana they put in there. They put a bunch of bloatware on it. And you're not allowed to not use it. And so I decided, hey, well, I want to look around. I've been watching a guy on YouTube, some ordinary gamers, a Mudahar. Awesome. I love his videos, but he uses Linux a lot, and I was watching his videos, and he was talking about, you know, different Linux systems depending on the video, but it was intriguing. It's like, hey, you can do a lot with that. So I decided, let me check into that some. Now, I wouldn't be making this video, but at the end of it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday morning. So today is Thursday evening. I'm making this for Friday, but this is Thursday. So yesterday morning, I ended up getting a message on my on one of my videos, and the message reads, well, one moment here. I'll tell you what the message reads. Okay, the message reads, don't use AI to learn things unless you're okay learning them from a crackhead who's read every book in the library but didn't understand any of it. Like, well, that was just one heck of a statement there. So I replied. I said, okay. And this is where we're going, guys. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I had worked most of the night. I responded, okay. I didn't have Linux installed on my PC until tonight. OMG, I used ChatGPT for the entire process. All the troubleshooting, installation, and I am now replying to you from Linux. So you're right, don't learn anything. It's easier, right? But I'll go ahead and uninstall it and go back to just using Windows because I can't trust what I'm actually seeing with my eyes. The crackhead has steered me wrong. Thanks for the comment, though. I really do appreciate it. And I couldn't leave it at that, so I followed up one more time. I said, also, ChatGPT seemed to actually understand the full process. We covered this before. It didn't understand it. It found the information. And I say that. Not really understanding it, but was able to find every piece of information that I needed to know to make the install as simple as possible. But again, you're right. Learning is scary. I'm going to say this. If you are afraid of AI, if you're afraid of AI, guys, you probably don't want to be on my channel. And as much as I want you here, I'm not afraid of technology. I will use it. That's what it's here for. I'm not worried about, oh, well, what if? No, what if? It can be fixed, okay? Anything can be fixed unless, you for the most part, you can, you can intentionally break things to the point of no return, but in general, anything that you can do can be corrected. I'm not worried about electronics. I'm not worried about computers. I've been around them all my life. I just was too lazy to use anything but Windows. I don't like Mac. I'm not an Apple fan. So, it was Microsoft Windows or nothing. So I thought, don't. But anyway, I decided, okay, I want to ask ChatGPT. I asked it a simple question. We're going to get rid of this image. Okay, here we go. You in this is the actual chat that I had. If you guys want it, put it in the comments. I'll send you a link to it because this is the actual chat. Okay, I asked ChatGPT, is there any benefit to using Linux over Windows? They said, yeah, there's some real benefits, depending on what you're trying to do. Speed and performance. It runs faster on older or low-spec hardware. Don't have to worry about that. I've got an high-end computer, or at least a medium high-end. It's a decent computer. You're going to see the stats, so you'll probably say, well, that's a garbage computer. I don't care. It does what I need. It has less bloatware, which means I can pretty much install what I want, take out what I want. If I don't want the Microsoft Office suite to be installed on my computer every day in time, then I reboot it I don't have to have it. It won't come back. I put it on or I take it off, and that's how my computer is. There's no, oh, well, we're going to just install it again because, again, we make the rules, not you. Okay? Security. There's only like 2% of the people that use computers use Linux. So nobody's targeting this. I mean, they're targeting all the guys use the cool stuff like Windows, which fine. To each their own. Again, um, oh, you don't run. You can't set it to run by default. So if I need to do something, chances are I'm going to have to use my password, and that's fine. Open source. It's an open source program for most of them, or open source code. They're all based off one thing. So there's a whole bunch of people out there in the community working on it, make it better, make it secure. The privacy. Uh, it doesn't track you like Windows. You control what's installed and what runs. Key right there. You control what gets installed and what runs. Okay? Cost, it's free. There's no license, no upgrades, no nothing. You're not going to have the Linux coming up saying, "Hey, well, if you don't pay us $800 next year, you would just go ahead and get rid of your operating system." I don't worry about that. Control customization. You can change almost anything. From the way the processes are, I literally cheating to tell you, I literally set up so it cleans my uninstall files out and such like that. It's all one day, but I am getting it set up where it's more automated, so it can help me continue. Um, Stability, it's great for servers and workstations. Uh, Updates don't reboot or interrupt like Windows does. Uh, the software is easy to install. It's like usually one click installs. You can use terminal. You can use something that we've got. It's called it's in the menu, but it's a software. It's actually, what is it called? The software manager, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Yeah, software manager. So easy to install. You don't have to worry about exe installers. And you don't have to worry about adware. You're installing what you want. And this one is developer friendly. I'm not a developer, but there you go. Now, there was a bug in here. Again, I got ChatGPT. I don't like it lying to me, so I make it where it's supposed to be. It's not a yes man to me. I use ChatGPT for information. Yes, I do speak to it like a person, but it's still, I know what it is. And so I wanted to at least tell me if there's bad things. It says it still wins for gaming, Adobe apps. I don't use Adobe apps. I'm not paying Adobe. And broad hardware software capability. Okay, learning curve can be steep for total beginners. That can be one of those scary things. Oh, it's scary. No, I'm good with it. It's like, okay, we can deal with that. So it said, let me know your use cases, and I'll tell you if Linux makes sense for you. Now, I was just inquiring at this point, guys. I was not intending to do anything. I wasn't intending to do anything. I just want to get some information. So I tell it, I don't have any use cases other than what I do every day. Uh, I just know Windows isn't what it was. I remember having control when Windows and MS-DOS were actually independent of each other instead of the virtual MS-DOS of today. So I have a couple of games that I do play now and then, but otherwise it's basically web browsing, YouTube. I'm working on my YouTube channel. Here's ChatGPT. It's telling me, great. Or given that, Linux could absolutely work for you with a few caveats. Why it might be a good fit. I want control back. I do want control back. I am tired of my computer being taken over by some corporate sponsorship. So every time I turn around, I gotta look. Oh well, this you gotta have because we're trying to sell this. No, sorry, I want it. YouTube web browsing files, they work fine on Linux with Chrome, Firefox, or Brave. Uh, um, channel work. I can do all that. I use OpenShot. It's native to it's native to Linux, so I can use that. I can tweak the OS how I want it to look and run, not how Microsoft tells you. That's my big key right there. I don't want to be told how I've got to set up and operate my computer. I pay for it. I bought it. Keep your hands off. Privacy and speed. Again, it's privacy and speed. It's quick. It don't reboot. It's good. So the only real hurdles it's saying is gaming and Adobe software. Some games work great thanks to Proton, but anti-cheat, online games, and new AAA titles can be hit or miss. Okay, so and then Adobe software doesn't run, but I use GIMP for if I'm going to do any kind of photo imaging. I don't use Photoshop anyway. I don't use Premiere Pro. I do not use Adobe software. So don't have to worry about that. It says, best first step, try Linux Mint, Cinnamon, or Zorin OS. They look similar to Windows XP and 7. They're easy to install. You can dual boot it, which now it's telling me this. All I'm doing is trying to get information about what I can do. And this is what I'm saying. You can use this as a tool, and it can take you a long way. So it's telling me you use try Linux Mint or Zorin. You can dual boot, keep your Windows. So it's telling saying, hey, you can keep Windows and put this and then put Linux in it too. And it says, okay, if your PC isn't ancient and your games aren't cutting edge competitive shooters, you could switch and not miss much. Plus, you get back that old school feeling of actually owning your machine again. Want to help picking a distro or setting up a dual boot? And so I want to reply. I'm trying to let it know what's going on. I said first, the games I play are City Skylines 1 and 2, Transfer Fever 2, American Truck Simulator. There was one other Red Dead Redemption, but I get into that later. I said I don't use any Adobe products. I have GIMP, but I don't use it. I don't do a lot of photo editing. Don't do a lot of editing, guys. You know this. Okay, so perfect. Those games work well on Linux with either native support or Proton. Okay, City Skylines has a native Linux version. 2 runs with Proton. 3 has Linux support. And American Truck Simulator has a native Linux version. Cool. If you're using Steam, it's plug and play for most of that. I use Steam. So, what does it recommend? It says, well, try either Mint Cinnamon or Pop OS. They're good for gaming. Okay, install Steam, dual boot setup, keep Windows just in case, but you may not need it that much. And it asked me, do you want help setting up a dual boot system and running games on Proton? And they can walk me through it. And so I asked, what kind of storage space do I need for a dual boot? And it said, here's a simple breakdown. This got me, guys. This really just got me. Windows 10 and 11, you need 60 to 100 gigabytes bare minimum. If you're going to play games or store video files, you need between 150 to 200 gigabytes. I've got 2 drives. My SSD drive is 500 gigabytes. So it's saying, okay, we're going to take up half of that for the operating system. Linux, I need 20 to 30 gigabytes minimum. You can get, if you're installing games as such, 50 to 100 gigabytes is better. Already half the memory. Half the memory is all I need for the better. That's not the bare minimum, for the better. So okay, well, they got my eyes, and it says okay. If I got a 1 terabyte drive, which I do, I put my games over there. Where it's saying I put my games over there, and it's saying okay, no, that's what it's telling me. Allot Windows 6 to 700 gigabytes and Linux 2 to 3. That's half the size, guys. That's half the size. So that it's like, well, why is it using up my other 300 to 400 gigabytes? And if I'm on a smaller one, again, you add, you're tripling what you're using, or the space if you use Windows. And it tells me important tips: install Windows first, then Linux, back up everything, and use a tool like GParted. Okay, I don't know how many of you techies, but here you go. You can probably laugh at some of this, but I like my computer, so laugh all you want. And don't laugh at my 8 gigabyte VRAM. I know it needs to be bigger, but I'll get there, guys, one day. Um, so it says, before we start with the following specs, I should be good. So I just copied the specs that I could, okay? And so, yeah, your system perfect for Linux. Here's how it lines up. My CPU is fully supported. It's just telling me this. I need to know this information. And I need to, I need to know this information so I can move forward. It tells me my RAM's fine. It's more than good. My GPU is an AMD. It's great for Linux, and AMD is built into their kernel. I've got plenty of storage space, ideal for dual booting, and and I got Windows 11 to pick that up too. Bottom line, I'm more than good. My machine is above average for Linux performance, ready to walk through the dual boot system setup when you want. So what will I need to back up everything as I do restore? So it's just telling me, okay, I need the hard drive. I need to create a restore point in Windows, get a screenshot of my system setup, advanced safety net. This is for your Windows imaging and such. So it's telling me, it's telling me what I need. Okay, when I get Linux installed, I'll be able to access Steam and log in from Linux. Absolutely. Install Steam, log in, play your games. Bam, nothing else. So should I not uninstall the games from Windows? And it's telling me, no, don't, because keep Windows games in case you want to switch between Linux and Windows. Save drive space later. So once you know it works, get your drive space back. Okay. And since I use Proton for my password manager, that will also work with Linux. Yes, Proton Pass works perfectly on Linux. It's on Linux. You get browser extension. The rest of my Proton is all web-based. I can use it. It says I can use Bitwarden or KeePass. I don't do that. I already got that, so I'm all good there. Now, getting to the nitty-gritty. What am I looking for in disk management? It says here is what I'm looking for. And so it tells me how to open up Disk Manager. It tells me what my drives are. It tells me what to look for on my partitions. Man, I'm showing you guys. The only reason I'm even showing this, and yeah, it might be a little longer, I want you guys to see what it can and can't do. Because was this whole process seamless? No. But I tell you what, it got her done. So, no, don't delete anything until we're ready to install Linux. If you're unsure, take screenshots. So, what did I do? I took screenshots, guys. I said, hey, look, here's my activity. Right over here is my partitions, okay? So, you probably can't see it, but I don't think I can blow that up either. Nope. Let's see. Open window and new tab. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, so anyway, I can't blow that up, but there's my partitions, guys. So I gave it a screenshot of my disk management, and I don't have to do it because it's going to tell me. It says, oh, it looks solid. Here's what I've got. Just looking at my picture. I did take a screenshot. It says my drive 1, it tells me it's terabyte. My main drive is my SSD. It tells me where my Windows partition is, the recovery, and all this. So options for Linux install. Shrink Windows or use the 1 terabyte HDD. The SSD is quicker, and it does recommend to do this. So go with option 1, shrink your Windows drive and install Linux on your SSD. Okay, I say how about boot order, because it was talking about I had to know what my boot order was, okay? And it's a great question. It matters a lot when using dual boot, because you have to go to your BIOS. Guys, again, I love technology, so I'm not worried about going to BIOS. I ain't telling everybody to do it. I don't know everything about BIOS, but it's my computer, guys. Why am I not being why can't I go in there and change things as I need? So anyway, so it says I get the grub menu after I install Linux and such, and if the order's wrong, it'll skip Linux, go straight to Windows. Okay, so it tells me how to set it up. Tells me all this, exactly how to set my boot order up. Have Linux installed, you'll see it every time you power on. If you want, I can help you check your BIOS version and all that. And I said the bootable USB needs to be a USB drive, and is it required? Yes, to install Linux, I need a usable bootable USB drive. I was about finished there because I did not know if I had any kind of USB drive laying around. And so I was getting a little discouraged, but it was more discouraged because I was thinking I might have to wait to even test this out because I don't think I have that equipment. So it tells me I need a USB drive 8 gig or larger. It'll be white, so make sure everything's backed up. I found one from my old phone. It was just a SD card. I've got my reader. I just plugged it into the side there. Actually, this ain't the one. It's secure now. I just plugged it in and I put it in the slot and it works. So, and then it tells me I download Linux. Telling me how to do all this, guys. It's literally walking me through this. Now, if you remember the comment at the beginning, this thing's on crack. It's read every book, but it doesn't understand anything. Okay, so all this information according to someone that's scared, I guess, of technology, and that's acceptable. Just say it. I'm scared of technology, and the stuff scares me, and I don't want to do it. I'm good with that. Don't. But I'm not scared of technology. I'm going to go for it. So let me know when you've got a drive. And I had to look and find it. I said, okay, I have a drive, has files on it, but I already backed them up. I said, okay, how to create your boot disk? Tell me, download a distro. And it said, I recommend Linux Mint Cinnamon. It gives me the download link. So I copy this. And I could go right there. Bam! And it took me right to Linux Mint. Okay? And it gave me, it said, okay, here's the different versions. I went with Cinnamon. Oh, that's not the story. That's just, it gave me the link where to go. It said download Rufus to make it bootable. Did that. That way I could make my drive bootable. I open Rufus. I did this. It tells me exactly how to partition my drive and put my ISO file on it. Bam! Okay, I said the defaults I see a partition scheme. I'm telling it what I see, okay? I said thanks for checking. You're close, but here's the best setup for your system. And so now it's telling me how to set up Rufus. This is the program it told me to get to partition my drive, and that way I can get my ISO on it. Tells me how to partition it. What to do? Partition it. It'll adjust it on that. Click start and let it know once it's done. I'll guide you through booting into it. I never checked the boot order. I said I didn't check it. We had already skipped past that. No worries. Let's handle that now. Here's how to check and change your boot order. Plug in the drive. Restart your PC as soon as it comes. I go to BIOS. I did that. I went to BIOS, and then it said, here's the boot tab and such. Okay. And then something about my motherboard. It was telling me that I need to press keys, just either F12 or escape, just depending on my system. It says drop the brand or model of the motherboard, laptop, I said, well, how do I check my motherboard? And it said, go to Windows and do this. Now, I'm in Windows there, so I type this information, and it'll show me something like this. It's telling me what to type and what to look for. And it tells me on my brand. And then you hit message through. So I did that. And I posted it. This is what I got. My manufacturer, the product, and all this. Now it looks like a mess, but it can read it. Believe me, it knows it. It says, oh, look, you're running a Gigabyte B560 DC 3H AC 1.1 motherboard. Here's the keys you need. BIOS, you need 12, boot menu, or delete, boot menu F12. It knew exactly what I needed. What to do now? Tells me, step by step. Plug it in, reboot, tap F12, and do this. Okay, I said, all right, I'm in GNU Grub. So nice, I'm right where I need to be. Again, step by step, what to do there. And so, okay, I'm there, and boom. So step by step, install Linux Mint. It's telling me, guys, exactly how to install this. After the reboot, you'll see the grub menu, pick Linux Mint or Windows Boot, and let me know when you're done. Okay. What it was telling me is that I need to repartition my drive. And to do that, I was supposed to have a slider. Okay? And so you go in here and you install Mint alongside Windows Boot Manager. And then and it mentioned a slider, and it's like, well, there isn't one yet. So you install it, select it, it will automatically resize it. Okay, what to do next? Click continue, continue partitioning. Partitioning. Get to the next side. Okay, here's what I see, guys. What is it? I can't select the drive, but I do have a slider now. And the drive I could not select was this drive up here. It wanted me, I'm using my terabyte, and it wanted me to use my SSD drive. So it's saying, hey, well, you may want to use a different drive. So it tells me it's trying to install it on my 1 terabyte, not your 500 gigabyte SSD. Here's what to do. It tells me again, step by step, what I'm doing, one step at another. And I said, it only has the one drive. As it got it, that means that the installer isn't seeing my 500 gigabyte SSD. So how to fix it? Change a BIOS setting. Here we go. We're going back to BIOS, guys. So I went back to BIOS. I tried that. I enable, or it tells me everything I need to do. I actually was closing this out. So I think I printed some of this, and it's telling me, okay, boot into Windows, open command prompt, run this, and it's telling me how to change it. And then try the Linux USB again, and therefore. And I said, well, look, this is what I got in my BIOS, okay? Easy mode, guys. But so I show them my BIOS, and if this is anything sensitive, like I said, if it's sensitive shit, I don't know what to tell you guys. Just don't hack me, please. And if you do, leave me something good. So I'm telling you what it has. It's perfect. That's where we're going. It tells me I'm using IRST, and it hides my SSD from the Linux. So here's what to do to switch modes. These technical guys, I don't know what all this is. It's just telling me I can read, and I'm not scared to go in and do this shit. So it said prep the Windows for it. We're still in Windows. Run this command in the command prompt. And this is where I was really getting into it. All this command prompt things. I love the command prompts, and I'm beginning to like the terminal. It's just that I feel it feels old school to me, and that's what I like. So go back to the PC and go back into BIOS. And it tells me step 2, disable this, disable IRSD and enable AHCI, boot into Windows safe mode, delete safe boot, and then reboot it. Okay, I'm not in Windows. I'm not in Windows though, am I? Okay, yeah, and I was in BIOS, and I said, no, you're not Windows, so you need to get out of there and then boot back into Windows. And here's what to do. Exit BIOS. Now, see, I had a question. I'm not in Windows. It's telling me to do all this in Windows. Like, I'm not in Windows, though. And they said, no, you're in BIOS. Get out of BIOS and go boot back into Windows. Duh. But anyway, I wanted to make sure I was doing everything right because I'm messing with my operating system. I'm eager but a little nervous. Okay, so and it says we'll go through this. Okay, and then and then it tells me I can log into Windows Terminal. Admin, it says yes. Admin is perfect. It works the same as command prompt because I couldn't get to the command prompt, and so do this inside the Windows Terminal. Copy paste this. Once you're back in BIOS, we'll reset it. Okay. If you notice, if you could see this, I did exactly what it said. It said it is not valid. Run BCD edit for command line assistance. The parameter is incorrect. And I said, this is what I got. I'm taking screenshots at this point. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm out of my system. So I have switched from using ChatGPT and Windows or the actual online, and I was using my phone because if you can see me right there, I am taking a picture of my screen so I can show this and upload it. So I take a picture and I said, this is what I got. Thanks for the screenshot. I took a picture. It wasn't even a screenshot, guys. I just took a picture of my screen. So thanks for the screenshot. The issue is that the PowerShell handles it differently. Here's how to fix it. Okay, so once again, it's telling me that I'm trying to get AHCI, and I said, okay, well, if I go in, this is off wherever it is. I'm not going to find it, but right there, my IRST is off, but I didn't see HCSI, so I said, okay, that's fine. And now let's switch back to the mode. It's telling me how to do this. And then it tells me where to go back in the BIOS, and I'm showing my my AHC, the AHCI was on. It says it's disabled, but it actually was on. Okay, it said, yep, that confirms it. I'm running in that mode. Exit out of BIOS, go back to the Windows, redo the safe boot thing, and go from there. I said, does it take a while to reboot? It looks like my PC is on, but both monitors are dark. Okay, I'm coming into issues, okay? Well, I won't panic? No, even though my expensive computer is, in dire need now. So, it says, try this, try to Control-Alt-Delete, doesn't work, and no response. Pretty much do a hard reboot. And I said, okay. Once it died following, and do I insert the USB when I reboot? So in other words, when I reboot it, do I need to use the USB? I said, yes, use the USB. So do I insert? Yes, here's FOPO. So clean up Windows. I had to, before installing Linux, it's telling me how to do this. I got to get that safe boot going and such. Okay, I'm back in the installer and still don't have the SSD. I could not, that 1 gigabyte drive was the only drive I could find. Now it's telling me the likely causes, open Mint installer, open the terminal because you get to the terminal before that, and type this and it will list my storage devices. And I said, okay, here's what I got. There's my storage devices down here. It's telling me sizes, partitions, all that shit, okay? And it says, okay, it is detected, and it's giving me the number. It's reading it, and it says, okay, there is the partition, the NBN01. And now the issue is the Mint installer isn't offering it at the auto install option. It's because the drive uses a Windows only partition or whatnot. Fix, use the something else option, which was an option inside the installer. And it's telling me what I'll see. All this, and I said, is that under the drop down menu? Because it's trying to lead me to the SSD, and it said, yes, once I see it, it should be there. It should be a drop down. It's guesstimating how many gigabytes are left. It's telling me what I need to leave alone, what I need to shrink. It's telling me exactly what I need to do step by step. And I said, okay, this is where I'm at. And I show them again, and I said, thanks for a screenshot. You're in the right place, but you haven't shrunk the main window partition. Now I'm trying to make space for my Linux. Here's what to do. It's telling me again what to do, step by step. Let me know when you're at the partition creation screen or if anything looks different. One step at a time, please. This is correct. And I said, yep, that's right, because they was getting a little ahead of me. That should do it. Let me know if you see that free space. I'll walk you through creating a partition. This is what I see. I didn't have the option that it was asking for. That's perfect. Thanks, perfect timing. You're looking at the use. It's telling me that's not right. Cancel that. Go back here. Look for this. So going to have to. Or would you like me to guide you through shrinking it with GParted? It's a graphical tool and easier for exact sizing. So going to have to. That is an option. Okay, let's do it that way. So tells me how to get to GParted. What to do in GParted. Again, step by step, guys. For this being a crackhead, it was paying attention. So let me know when you're finished resizing. The highlighted one correct because I was having problems resizing it. And so I said, yep, do that one, make it bigger. Like, I can't. Actually, I was able to do that one. It said, right. So I did all that. I resized it. Bam, hit apply. I said, yep, hit apply. An error occurred while applying the operation. I was simply right. It did not work. Thanks for the update. The error is common if it wasn't fully shut down. How to shut it down? Reboot into Windows. Now I'm back into Windows. Back and forth. I'm really determined when I want to do something. Disable hibernation. Run a file check. And reboot. Boot back into Linux. Okay, so we're there. Pretty much, it's telling me step by step, guys. And I know I'm taking my time, but I'm just showing you what this thing's doing. It's literally taking me step by step on this install. Do this. Create a partition. That free space. I mean, it's asking me, telling me free space. Yeah, that's it. It's like, okay, click the plus button and so forth. And it says, I don't have the format partition. I think all else is right. Yep, that's perfect. Final confirmation. It's telling me that install is finished. Restart now. Say go ahead and restart. Remove your drive and press enter. And when you're done, I should be in Linux. So I use the USB when I reboot. Nope. So do not do that. When it says remove it, just leave it and then reboot it to grub. And then you pick between Linux and Windows. And it's like, I'm in. Nice work. Welcome to Linux. Okay. For somebody to put this comment up, that literally says that you can't trust anything that's said. It tells me that you're scared. And that's fine. If you're scared, don't scare other people off. Don't. I mean, that's ridiculous. Do you have to be aware of what you're doing? Of course. It's like anything else. But if you're scared of the technology, if you're scared to drive, if you are a person that gets behind the wheel of a car and you're scared to drive, you're dangerous. If I worked heights. I worked as an industrial painter when I got out of the military for a while. I worked severe heights. I hate heights, but in the military, I learned how to control that. I met people that they were scared. They were dangerous. Okay? It's like everything in life. If you're scared to take that step, it's going to be a much harder process. You're not going to have any confidence. You're going to make mistakes more. You're going to be less willing to handle anything coming up. What I would ask anybody in this field, if you whether you're watching me or watching somebody else, if you're scared, fine, say it. I'm scared. I don't trust it. I'm scared to do this. Because I'd rather hear that than say, oh, well, it's just a crack kid doesn't know what it's talking about. Really? It doesn't know what it's talking about. After I did all this, I'm still only halfway done. I'm going to show you how much further I went. Because I'm not going to keep you on. Because what I did next was I have all this just scrolling and scrolling. It's I was looking at the space, how much space that Windows was using compared to what I was. I was setting up. I've got a cleaner set up already to run weekly and monthly to clean up my system. And the further I got and the more I was using it, because I wasn't scared and because I understand that this is a tool that I can ask information from, and it can retrieve information. It can also read what I'm doing, and that gives me a lot of it makes it where I understand it is a tool, but it also has unlimited resources. I also this last week I used ChatGPT to fix a carburetor on my tiller. I am not a small. I hate mechanics. I'm not a small engine repairman, but you know what? I'm not. I'm not scared. I'm not going to say AI scares me, therefore nobody should use it. If it scares you, back up, leave. I mean, it's that simple, guys. If you're afraid to do it, don't. It's not that hard. I love it. I love it. The bottom line is, this might sound crazy. After I did all of this, installed my apps, I'm going down, installing my apps. Here's my Photoshop. I'm telling it what I use. Because I was going back to Windows saying, I use these programs. Okay, well, if you use this, use this. I mean, I use Signal. It says use Signal. It's already there. Discord is Discord. I said, these are the games I use right here. Just so I can move them over. SM Player is native. OpenShot native. Discord native. I thought I used Notepad++. I did once, but again, I don't have that anymore. But it's saying use Genie Jedit, Breeze it for zip, install pzip or arc. I mean, it's telling me, and it's telling me how to install it. Look, I mean, I can install straight from a command line. Sudo apt install xarchiver. Bam, it installs it. I don't have to worry about it. My games, Rockstar Game Launcher. No native Linux version, but you can use Heroic or Lutris. But Red Dead Redemption 2 works great on Steam plus Proton. You add it as a non-Steam game. Steam plus Proton tells me to play my games for my grandsons, so that way that they can play it. Chrome. I mean, it tells you. It told me step by step everything I needed to do to get my Linux up and going. And then, after all of that, I mean, I'm up and running, and it's coming. Let's see, what can I do? I mean, I was up all night. I even asked it, what does this mean? What does the term Pac-Man mean? Pac-Man is a package manager used for Arch Linux. I'm not using Arch Linux. I'm using Ubuntu. I think it's what it's called. So that's why I use sudos instead. Or not sudos. That's why I use apt instead of Pac-Man. I use apt instead of Pac-Man. I told you guys because Ubuntu and mine is Ubuntu based, so I use apt instead of Pac-Man. Tells me that. I asked it why. You know. And want a side-by-side comparison? I said, not yet. And then I told you, it's taking me back to my MS-DOS days. And so I asked another question. If I can run Windows and Linux on the same PC, then can I run more than one Linux distro on a PC? I can run more than one, correct? Like if I wanted to use Mint and try another distro. So yeah, you can dual or even triple boot with the Linux. And it tells me exactly how it does. For this being a dumb, something you can't trust. It knows quite a lot. And it says today, or long story, today I learned, or something like that. Today I learned, didn't read, too long, didn't read, too long, didn't read. Yes, I can run as many distros as I can. I'm old, guys. TLDR threw me a minute. I can run as many as I want. Mint today, Montreal tomorrow, Fedora next week. The only thing I have a limit with is my SSD. And I said, no, I'm not quite yet. But I can see. Here we go. This happened just not long ago. Did I do this today? Tomorrow? It's been a while. It happened today. So this happened earlier today. And I said, it's been a day now. I can see no reason to go back to Windows. What do I need to do to get my computer back from that Gates fellow? All right. Time to reclaim your entire SSD from the clutches of Gates and Company. Let's do it. Step by step, guys. Boom. Told me how to partition it. All that shit. If I had problems, I see this and this. I ask him what it could keep. I ran into an issue as it's telling me delete Windows partitions. Do all this crap. I couldn't. It isn't letting me drag to the partition. Now I've already eliminated Windows and I couldn't get that there. Don't worry about it. Here's what's going on. Fix it in this order. The free space is at 0 and it isn't something I can select. Thanks for the shot. Here's what to do. After the resize is not an option. It's grayed out. So, I'm starting like, I don't have Windows anymore, but I can't expand. I can't take my drive back. I want my drive. And then I said, now resize P5 to take the unallocated space exactly. It's still not able to do it. Okay, do this, step 3. It doesn't allow me to do this. I mean, come on, guys. Hey, it's literally, if you're having a problem, I'm just telling it step by step. No, it's not working. I like option 1, but that doesn't seem to be working. Free space, because it's giving me 2 options here. Quick fix or the safer and instant resize. I want option 1, but it's not letting me. Okay, well, here we go. Final fix step by step. It's telling me this. There are 3 partitions, P1, the fat, unallocated. I was still having problems, and bam. I mean, it literally told me exactly what to do. And look at my comment. That worked. That Gates guy is going to have to go find another sucker. What was causing the issue, though? And I said, okay, right there's clean, welcome. What was causing it? The problem came down to partition, positioning, and live usage. What happened is I had to reboot Linux with my ISO, with my boot USB, so that I wasn't using the partition to resizing it. But it told me to do that. I did that. I said, so here we are. Let's clean up the mess. We cleaned up the mess, guys. So, after all was said and done, to read a comment that once again, I'm going to read this out loud. Don't use AI to learn things unless you're okay learning them from a crackhead who's read every book in the library but didn't understand any of it. If that's your attitude, okay. Go back to the basement. Hide. I don't know what to tell you. My computer's Linux now. I'm not going back to Windows. I know that. I know me. I'm not a kid. I'm 54 years old. So I know what I'm not going to do. I don't need to unless, it becomes the only thing I can use. But there's no need. I can do everything here. I took something. I could have had to take this to the shop if I was afraid of ChatGPT. I didn't. I spent time telling it what was going on, and it kept finding the information I needed step by step, guys. And not only am I making this video from my Linux system, I will post this online from Linux to YouTube. Everything will have been done for this video in Linux, because I did trust ChatGPT. I know what I'm capable of. I don't know what all it's capable of, but I can tell you this much. I don't have the information it does. If you can put the prompts in, I'm asking simple questions. Is there a benefit? This doesn't work. I'm not writing fancy prompts. I'm asking it questions, showing it pictures. This is what I see. What can I do? And it can find me every answer throughout the entire internet. I want to see anybody do that. Any man that has not studied, any woman that has not studied anything, installation. It has been over 30 years since I put a operating system on a computer. Over 30 years. In 4 hours I did it and removed my bloatware. So what I'm saying is this. Don't be afraid of ChatGPT. Don't be afraid of the AI. Learn to use it. You can use it to your benefit. I use it to write. Anybody that's watched this, I use it to write my videos. Or to make my videos. I use it the whole step of the way. But I'm not naive to know that it's always right. I question it. When it tells me that something's not right, earlier today it said, I had asked about something in Linux, and then it said, well, and over on the side here, the name of it was in Spanish. I said, why is it in Spanish? And ChatGPT told me. He said, because you said this word. It's like, excuse me? And I said, no, I didn't. I never said that word. You cannot read the chat. Therefore, how could you assume that I said something that I did not? Was it right? No, it was hallucinating. It was hallucinating. Whenever you do something, you always got these little marks down here. Oh, I can't see it on this, but anyway. Let's see. I think this is too long. This one timed out on me. But as in, it was so long, but you can hit the little thumbs down and it sends that to them, and sometimes it'll ask you what was wrong. You tell it what's wrong so they can fix it. I mean, it's a tool, guys. If I'm using an axe and my handle breaks, my axe head is not useless. I go get the handle fixed. Replace the handle. If something's wrong, if it hallucinates, say, hey, and I ask it, why did you assume something that wasn't true? Oh, I made a mistake. I said, you hallucinated. How can I correct this? How can we teach ChatGPT to learn from this? It told me what to do. It said, hit that thumbs down button, and it'll send it on, and then you just tell it what it was. So don't be afraid of it, guys. AI's a blast. It really is. Computing's a blast. I love computing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I did something that I never thought I could do, or not. I didn't think I could do. I know I could do it. Never thought that I would do, and I literally got rid of my Windows, and I am in total Linux now. All due to not being afraid of using AI. So that's what I say. That was my journey, guys. I was called out, told how sorry this was. At the time, I finished doing exactly a long project, or a fairly long project. And then I got called out, or everybody told not to use it, and I had to make the video. It's like people like that just really upset me, because they're afraid. If you're too afraid, just step back. Step back. There's no need. Just step back. Get out of the way. I mean, if you're that scared, get out of the way. Don't need it. And if you're going to get on my channel and you're going to tell me, oh, you can't do this, can't do that, okay. Can't never do anything. Never will. And if you're going to tell me can't, I'm going to call you out. If you're going to tell me that what I'm doing is stupid because you are afraid of it, I'll call you out. You're lucky I didn't call you out by name. Next time I will. I will not block out your name again. I let anybody know this. You want to come into my comments and make statements to try to chase people away, scare people from using things that are actually can be beneficial. I'm going to start calling you out. I'll start posting every one of you up here. I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I was done with what I done. What I do, I responded back to you twice. You didn't even get to respond back to me. You responded once. I responded twice because it was like, if you're that ignorant or that scared, then you don't watch my videos. Don't watch AI. Go out in the woods, get your fire going, use your rocks with your primitive tools, and enjoy. I'm going to enjoy it my way. If you guys got anything from this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I drop shorts every day, Monday through Friday. I do long forms. I try to do it 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I didn't this week. I missed Wednesday because of my project that was going on. I am back up and running. Next video will go out on Monday, and then I'll have my shorts every time a week. Learn, build, create with AI, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. Leave me a comment, good, bad. If you leave me a bad and I don't like it, you're coming on my screen. That's all I can tell you, guys. Until next time, have an excellent day. I'm going to enjoy my Linux. And until then, ciao.